52 travel size segment. We're going to pack our bags and we're going to be honoring those brave Americans that serve our country. It's a Veterans Day episode. So yeah, it's a big deal for me being a Native American. My country means everything to me. So Veterans Day, Memorial Day, those things are big. Memorial Day is we honor the ones that we lost, and everybody knows Veterans Day. We the ones that are still serving and have served, and they're still serving. And yeah, it's November 11th, and my birthday month. So November 3rd was my birthday. I had that. I had a nice little birthday. I'll get into that a little later. And then we also had November 10th, which is our 149th 149th birthday for the Marines. November 10th is always they celebrate their birthday. Next year 150. That'd be 250. Excuse me, 249th birthday. Next year will be 250 for the Marines. Their birthday, November 10th every year. I don't forget that because there's a buddy of mine I used to have a buddy of mine. His birthday's on November 10th, and it's easy to remember his birthday because of the Marine's birthday. But the reason why I bring up the Marine's birthday, well, because it's a huge thing. But also the other reason why I brought it up was because I remember being a kid and sitting in front of the TV, of course, as I did, and watching. I was watching Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny was my absolute favorite cartoon. He was my favorite character. He still is to this day my favorite character, cartoon character, Bugs Bunny. And it was an episode where it was these two guys. It was like a West, usually in the West, the Wild West. And he's fighting with. It was like I think it's a bull and a cowboy. I think they're fighting. And he's giving them the business. Of course, Bugs Bunny's giving them business as he does. He's very good at that. He's a good agitator. Anyway, he's going back and forth with these two characters, and they put on Superman. It's Superman suits, with the cape and everything, and and the music comes on. The Superman music comes on in the background, and Bugs Bunny's like, well, he goes, looks like I'm gonna need a real superhero to take these guys out. And then he goes into the phone booth. He comes dressed up as a Marine. He comes out and he sings the Marines hymn from the halls of Montezuma. And he sings. He's got the gun. He's got the hoe set up on. And it was funny seeing that as a kid. I was like, I wonder what. I was young. I was small. I was shit. I was probably 5 or 6, and I didn't know what that meant. So as I got older, I started learning and understood what that was. And then I asked my teachers and things what that meant. They told me. And back then, your teachers were fair and balanced. Back in the day, no, it's fine. Whatever. Teachers were fair and balanced back in the day, and they give you the thing. They didn't give you their perspective on things, and it was just they just told you how they just told you how it was. And anyway, so they told me about that. So I was always fascinated with that little part. That part of the Bugs Bunny always stuck with me. That he was, and it was funny because I'm sure Bugs Bunny will get canceled because when he says, I got somewhere to be and I got something more important to handle. I can't play with you guys anymore, and he walks off, and it has a sign of him, and it has going to Berlin, Tokyo, and other regions. But I'm sure that would be offensive now. But back at the time, it was I forget what year that was. I forget what year that cartoon came out. Probably around that time. But it was the thing is that you probably couldn't do that now. Like I said, I'm sure he'd get in all kind. I'm sure they'll cancel Mel Blanc for doing that bit. But I always that part always sticks to me. Bugs Bunny is just one of my absolute favorite cartoons. The whole Warner Brothers thing, him and his beef with Elmer Fudd and all that stuff. It was one of my favorite things. And he was always outsmarting them. He had and it also too they brought up in it also kind of touched on in Blazing Saddles when the new sheriff he did the candygram for Mungo, and he had the candygram and he blew up the Mungo. So it's kind of like I felt like it was an homage of a tip of the hat to Bugs Bunny with that exploding candy thing, and Mungo was all blown up and burnt and shit. Just one of my tangents I go off on that I start thinking about things in that movie. Blazing Saddles always comes to mind for me because it's one of my again like Bugs Bunny. It's Mel Brooks is one of my favorite. He's one of my absolute favorites. That he did Spaceballs, all these things that he's done. I probably talked about Mel Brooks a million times on the podcast. He's one of my favorites. Um, yeah, man. So it's a Veterans Day, so celebrating that. Get the day off, and for me, it's just kind of to uh, I like to read about old veterans that served and important. And one that came up, funny enough, one came up yesterday. Uh, it was I was watching the Colorado. I was watching Colorado and Texas Tech game, and watching that, and I was enjoying it. And I saw the I was watching. My son was watching it with us. We were watching the game, and my son's like, "What are they doing?" It's like, because he goes, they keep calling they keep throwing a flag. What's that flag for? Is like, there's not even nothing going on in the game yet. I said, well, I said no. I said, he's like, they're throwing shit. And I was looking down. I was reading something on my phone at the time, and I looked up. I said, I don't know. And then took a look. I said, they were throwing tortillas. They're throwing flour tortillas on the field. And he's like, what are they doing that for? And I was like, shit, I don't really know. So I looked into it a little bit, and it's like, there's several stories, but the one that comes up the most about the Texas Tech thing, the tortillas, is it was a game announcer on ESPN, and he said that the Texas Tech, all they had was football and a tortilla factory. And from that point on, 92, I think it was in 92. And then from that point on, they threw tortillas on the field. Or I think they did it on a baseball. I think it was at a basketball game they did it too, I believe. I'm not sure. That's what I was reading. I was reading beforehand, before coming here and doing, hopping on here and into the bunker here. And I was reading up on that. And, but yeah, Texas Tech, man. It was a good game. Texas Tech and Colorado, good game. Uh, Hunter, Travis Hunter got a touchdown, did a celebration. Him and Kai Cenat and their celebrations. It continues. They continue with their celebration things, and it was funny. And again, I'll put the clips down here, as I do. And then it was cool towards the end of the game. Colorado got a fumble in the end zone, and Shiloh Sanders recovered, and then of course he did his Deion's dance, the famous Deion dance that he does, and it was cool to see that happen. It was cool to see that his son doing that now. It's funny. It's just really neat for me to see, because I watched Deion do. I saw him do it in his heyday. He played for the Cowboys, and he did it there in San Francisco, of course, and he did it. He did the high stepping, he did the dance, and quarterback Sanders. He also at some point he got loose and he was running scrambling. He ran for a little bit, and he did a little bit of high stepping like his dad did too. So it was good. It was a solid game. They did a hell of a thing, hell of a win. I'm looking forward to seeing those guys get placed in a bowl. But like I said, they have a solid team, but I think they're still a little vulnerable in some spots in some areas. And but I mean, for them, it's just fun to watch. I love to watch these guys. I'm not here to analyze the game. I'm not a football analyst. I'm not a sports team. I'm not that. I love football, but I'm not that. I'm not going to analyze. But they have their issues, but I enjoy watching them. I enjoy watching him with his sons. It's a really cool treat. Unlike the LeBron thing, I enjoy Deion Sanders as a person. He's um, very um, he inspires these kids to continue to do well, and I think he does a fantastic job with them to show them how to turn them to not teach them how to be men and stuff. People sometimes hate Deion because he's cocky and all that stuff, but that's okay. If you're confident, why not, man? If you're confident, you got the talent, do it, man. It's just I like Deion. I've always liked Deion. I always will like Deion. I don't care if people talk shit about Deion, hate on him. I like him a lot. I like Deion a whole bunch, man. Leading to that thing, the veterans thing, that leads me. I always trail off. Oh man, I trail off on the thing. Being 48 now, getting older in my years, and I like to trail off a little bit. And but watching the Colorado game, I came across they had a story going on. It was the linebacker, and his name was Jacob Rodriguez. Was a linebacker for Texas Tech, and he was playing, and they kept talking. They kept bringing his name up, and I was like, why do they keep? Because when I'm watching the game, I'm kind of doing other things. I'm kind of sketching or whatever the case may be, or just BSing with the wife or Dylan, my son. We're joking around, messing around. So I kind of missed the story, but I was looking back at it, and yeah, Jacob Rodriguez, and I forget where he was originally from. Wichita, I think. Uh, yeah, I think it was Wichita. Anyway, linebacker, like I said, Texas Tech, and his wife. He married his wife, and because of the NIL funds and whatnot they have now, he was able to. They got married, and they were able to have a nice ceremony with monies that they have for them. NIL, I think it's NIL. Yeah. I'm old. At my old age, I forget the letters, and they all get mixed up, and dyslexia kicks in. Um, yeah. So anyway, his wife is an active. She's active duty, and she is a pilot, a helicopter pilot for the U.S. Army, which I found fascinating. And then they find time to see each other in between, the weeks while he goes and visits her sometimes, and they have. they have the means now to do that kind of stuff, and that's really nice. And I said that was a great story, and I think they were. It's just a thing. They're a wholesome couple. This guy playing football, all American kind of guy, and her being, serving for our U.S. Army. I think that it was a nice story they put in there, and I know they do that for Veterans Day and things like that, and it's really cool. It's good to know. I like to learn. I love learning about people and who they are, and they're not just playing football. They actually have, people tend to forget. Yeah, these guys are playing football. They got to win. You forget they have lives too, man. They got personal lives, and that was a cool little story. I enjoyed that story by Jacob Rodriguez. Check him out, linebacker for Texas Tech. Hell of a player too, man. He had missed several games. I think he had an injury earlier in the season. He was out for a few games, but yeah, he's a hell of a player, man. Like I said, they were taking it to the guys there to Colorado. It was a good game, though, solid game, and I'm glad Colorado won. Glad I'm always rooting for Colorado, always. The Horns, college football. Horns won Saturday too as well. The Horns won. I'm still a little sour. I'm still a little salty about the Georgia game because I think they saw Georgia kind of expose some of the weaknesses of the Longhorns. There again, I'm not an analyst. I'm just seeing what I saw from a simple man's perspective. So I hope when they get to that, if and when the Longhorns get to that playoffs thing where the bracket, I hope they can figure out how they got their ass kicked by Georgia. Granted, it was a close game, 30-15. It was a close game, but I'm still sour about that one. But yeah, they won yesterday. They beat I forget who the hell they beat. What was it? Can't remember the team that they beat yesterday, but it was 49 to 17 or something like that. It was a good game though. A good game. Started off shaky. Me myself, I prefer Manning, but that's just me. It's because I like to mix it up a little bit. And me, being a Cowboys fan, it's hard to root for Manning, but I can root for that one. He's with the Longhorns. He's a Texas. He's over here in Texas. Little football Saturdays. It's always nice. Little football. Sitting back, relaxing, watching it. Went for a little cruise too. Took the truck out. Had a little cruise there. Went around Sam Houston State Park. Checked out the forest and whatnot, and stopped by the job there for a second there, say hello to the fellows, and it was a good day, good Saturday. Me and Jennifer went for a cruise. Weather was absolutely perfect. Chamber of Commerce weather, as they say. Yeah, so we did that. We went for a ride. Then we were getting ready for Thanksgiving because I'm really excited for things. I know the last episode I touched on at Thanksgiving where I talked about the biscuits or the roll, and we were talking to a few folks about that, and everybody was it was kind of 50-50. People were like both, but again, biscuits are my nemesis. I don't like biscuits. And again, another thing I touched on too was dark meat. Dark meat on the turkey, it's the best. Dark meat's the best. It's got the best flavor because of course, it's the fat part. So breast is okay. If I'm in the mood for it, but excuse me, for the most part, the dark meat's the shit, man. Dark meat's the shit. The thighs and the legs, I like that stuff. November, like I said, is my birthday month. Birthday is this month. It happened already. We celebrated. It was a great time. I touched on earlier. But also November is election time, and I am glad it's over with. I'm sure it's been done a million times. By the time we do this episode of this segment, it'll be over with, and I'm glad it is because, like I said, it's something that gets taken on way too long. It should be really condensed into a few months and be done with it. I get tired of all the ads of this guy wants to kill this person, kill this, wants to this person doesn't want to let you do this. And I get tired of those little commercials. I guess it's exhausting, but it's over with now, and I'm glad. And if you want to see despite whatever side you're on, the election aftermath is delightful on TikTok. It's funny, it's entertaining, and it's ridiculous where we have gone. It's like for both sides, it's ridiculous, and I just I'm just glad it's over with. Like I said, and I'm glad we can all move on now and push forward and then come together as folks, as Americans, come together, hammer our shit out, figure ourselves out, and talk it out, and hopefully we can and be civil about it and move forward because it's exhausting. These things are exhausting. November is always exhausting in election time. It's just yuck. It's had enough. I had enough of the politics already. So we're done. We're gonna move on. Looking to see what 2025 has to do, and therefore, and the cool thing about it, the cool thing about all this was after all the things, the late night that Tuesday night, they were giving thanks to people, and then Dana White gave thanks to Theo Vaughn, which I thought that was the coolest thing. Theo Vaughn getting the thanks on the big stage there, and the guy's famous, right? I mean, the guy's successful already. He don't, it's whatever. But it was just cool that he got on that kind of a stage. He got a shout out from Dana White there. That was hilarious. And I was telling, I forgot, I was telling my son. I think I was telling him that and because he was like, oh, what movie should I watch? Because he's starting to get into movies now. Because we talk all the time about movies and things. And he's like, which movie should I watch? I said, I was showing him all the 80s shit that I was showing him. My wife was showing him her 90s picks that she likes, which is cool because I want him to get a taste of all of it. But I was telling him, man, you got to check out, I watched it recently and it didn't hold up because it's just the times are different. Revenge of the Nerds, that series 1 and 2, and it just didn't hold up. Those movies didn't hold up. I still, they're near and dear to me, but they just didn't hold up. But I tried to watch Revenge of the Nerds, and then when I was telling him about the movie, and I was just thinking about Revenge of the Nerds. It kind of reminds me of, it's like, you know, with all the election stuff and everything. It just kind of reminded me because I always think of things what's going on now because nostalgia. I love nostalgia and stuff like that. So I always take things I used to watch as a kid, like Revenge of the Nerds, and with things now, it's like, with Trump, like his cabinet's gonna look like Revenge of the Nerds because like he's got Elon Musk for the nerds, he's got Elon Musk and he's got the jocks, which is the Joe Rogans and whatnot, and the bro and the frat guys. He's got them, and it just kind of that's what it reminded me. He's like his cabinet's gonna be Revenge of the Nerds, and he's got the pretty gal, which is the Tulsi Gabbard lady from that switched over. It's just funny. I was just telling my son. It's just I thought about that, and it was just like they remind me that his cabinet's gonna look like Revenge of the Nerds. The nerds and the jocks coming together. And then I forgot about in Revenge of the Nerds, what's his name? I always forget his fucking name. John Goodman. John Goodman had a nice little rant and as a coach, and he throws his hat and everything. It's just a good rant when he's talking about, looking at your son in his crib and everything. I'll put the clip in here, but if you ever seen Revenge of the Nerds, that's one of my favorite clips of John Goodman. It's early in his career, and he went on a big rant. I always loved that rant. It was just always funny to me, and I always got a kick out of it when that scene would come up when I was watching it. But yeah, it was just funny. I was telling my son, yeah, that Trump's cabin's gonna look like Revenge of the Nerds. It's just funny. I just was kind of we were talking about movies and that kind of came on. We were watching all that at one time, and we were watching. It was the night of the election. We were watching all that, and just despite who you like or not, I was just introducing my son to. And, I don't. He thinks for himself. He's a free thinker. I don't do that. I'm not one of those parents that says I think like this. No, he's free to think whatever he wants. But we were showing him the election how it works. This is the first time where he was old enough the last time too, but it was just this time he was more interested to see what was going on, and we were talking about things, and we showed him. He watched it. We stayed up late to watch it all. Uh, but as a kid, he got tired and he wanted to play video games, so he went to his room and played games. But we watched the majority of the election thing coverage. And but it was just interesting to sit there to watch it with him and talk to him and tell him about things. I said, but just I always tell him you're free to think. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm not trying to sell you on nothing. I'm just here to tell you what how the process works and how it is and the popular vote and stuff and how that works. But anyway, again, I'm glad it's over with. I'm glad we can move on with our year now and Thanksgiving, like I said, ready for that. And you got Christmas around the corner. Christmas is always a stressful time because you never know what to buy for folks, and I'm always terrible at that because I'm just I like to give people cash or a gift card because it's easier that way. You get what you want that way, and but I do. I never was a fan of Christmas, but Jennifer got me into the Christmas spirit now, and um, I like it now. I love the Christmas time. My favorite time of Christmas is Christmas Eve is my favorite thing because Christmas Day is cool and all, but you open a gift Christmas morning and that's cool. I love that, but I enjoy Christmas Eve because Christmas Eve is the actual time where we sit down with the family. We all get together. In fact, we're doing that tonight, and I'll get into that in a minute. We sit down as a family. We have our traditional snack. We do like snacks. We do like all kinds of little finger food. Like we do pigs in the blanket, finger sandwiches, chips, dips, and all kinds of stuff. We do that Christmas Eve. We do that as a family, and we watch the marathon of Christmas stories. Ralphie. We do the Ralphie marathon, and we start that. We sit down about when Ralphie starts when we start having our meal, and we start eating around 7 o'clock. And TBS is on the whole night, and that's tradition for us. Ralphie stays on the TV all night, and we keep that going. And we sit up in the morning. We get up. We usually Jennifer is up by 5 a.m. and ready to open presents. She's the biggest kid in the house, and that's cool. I love it. It's just we started a tradition and with her parents, and we do it, and we do it every year. Christmas Eve is our thing. I always make sure if I have to work I don't work. I work every other day, but not Christmas Eve because I enjoy Christmas Eve. Now it's a big deal for us. Like I said, I love the eating, and we just we just swap stories. We talk trash, and it's just fun. It's just family, and I enjoy that because I never really had that. So, but we enjoy. We have a good time. Like I said, I never really had the family things. So I enjoy it with them, and it's a lot of fun. We have a good time. We talk, and we usually get the Bean Boozle thing and the nasty jelly beans that are me and Dylan and my dad Tim. We eat those together. We get grossed out. And my favorite one is always the Band-Aid flavor. You know, that's always my favorite, the Band-Aid flavor. But yeah, so Christmas is coming around the corner. What else? We had got Yellowstone coming up. So tonight's Sunday. Tomorrow, I'll put this out tomorrow. But tonight, it's our Yellowstone comes back, and we're all excited about it. Like I said, I was all against it. I didn't want to watch it because I just wasn't into it, and I said, I'll look at it. I'll watch it. 5, 4 years later down the road after it's been over and done with, and I'll check it out then. But Jennifer, Pam, she got us into it, and then Jennifer got into it. She's like, "We got to watch this. It's really good." And I said, "All right." So we started watching it, and I do like the Beth character. She's a really I didn't know the Beth character is a British gal, and she does really good as an American. And I think she's pretty. I said she's nice to look at. She's nice. Beth is nice. She's a redhead there. She's nice to look at, and but she's vicious and tough. And like I said, I probably talked about it before on another episode. But yeah, Yellowstone's back tonight, so we're gonna get into that. Jennifer's making dinner, and we're gonna go sit and watch that with as a family, and that'll be a new tradition. Yellowstone night. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see how it ends up there. November 3rd. I'm always near election time, so it's always a nightmare for my birthday because I'm always stressed, about shit. Not stressed, but just always like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen. Because like I said, that doesn't rule my life. Like I said, it's important to me. Yes, it's very important to me, but like I said, I don't let that get in the way of personal stuff. Like I said, you can't do that. You gotta things happen, elections happen. You got to move on with your day. You got to go back to work. You got to go back to the grindstone and go back at it and be, the working class. And I enjoy being the working class. I love it. It's the best part of being an American is the working class because that's the guy that's in the middle and gets shit done. They get shit, and the middle class gets done. They would get things done. So I enjoy being that part. The ditch diggers, all of us, all those folks in there, the middle class people, love those folks. Uh, so yeah, birthday month, November. And then yeah. So that's what I was gonna get into. So as you saw, I probably made a post on social media or whatever if you follow me on that thing. But I did put up. I had mentioned it before that I was really excited that my cousin Rudy from Colorado he reached out to me and he's like, hey man, just I talk to family a little bit. I don't really stay close to nothing against anybody. I'm just that way. I'm just kind of stick to myself. I mind my own business. And I've always been a loner, so I just kind of go my own way. But Rudy reached out to me, which I really appreciate. He reached out to me a couple weeks ago, Rudy, and he says, "Hey man, I was going through some stuff, and we found these photos for you. And I don't know if you wanted them." And he sent me the images. Like, holy shit, man! Because I never really had images. I never really had images. I never really had actual photos, physical photos of myself because they were always. I think when I was young, we had a lot of pictures of me, but I think we had a flood or we had issues with a fire or something. I can't remember exactly. But we lost a lot of my child images in I forgot how it was, a flood or whatever the case may be. Anyway, they got wet or something. Anyway, I lost a lot of my photos as a kid growing up. Middle school, elementary school photos, all this. Anyway, so Rudy found these 4 images of me and gave them to me. It was like one for me as being 6, and one for me in junior high, and then I can't remember the other. There's like 4 other ones, and 4 altogether. Anyway, when I saw those photos took me back to that time immediately, and it was close to my birthday time when he sent me those things. So I got them near my birthday. And Rudy was we're cousins, of course. I should have mentioned that we're cousins, and we were close. As growing up, Rudy came down when I was in high school. I was in my last couple of years of high school, and Rudy came down. And Rudy was a big time wrestler. Like he's a state, if I'm not mistaken, he was a state champion in Colorado, a state champion wrestler. Very good at what he did. Very talented at what he did. Quick, fast, nimble, uh, talented guy. I wish he could have. I guess life takes a different direction, but he was a very talented guy, and he introduced me to like because I was always into sports. I love sport. I played football my whole life. I love sports, but he really got me into like digging down to sports and watching them. Like I said, he got me into Jason Kidd. He got me obsessed with like ESPN. Got me into wrestling because I'm talking about actual wrestling, not not professional, actual wrestling, and with two guys, uh, uh, and he also introduced me to like the Olympics in '92. He introduced me to Oscar De La Hoya. Again, like I said, Jason Kidd in California when he played for in California in college. We watched that. We watched Jason Kidd's games, and I was impressed. And I was like, wow, you got a lot of knowledge of this stuff. He showed me that, and let's see what else he showed. He showed me. We would watch basketball, endless, hours of basketball. We watch. We played basketball together. We had a good time. Like I said, he introduced me to a lot of, got me into a lot of sports. We college football, all that good stuff. Like I said, we would listen to music together. We would make fun of shit. We were me and him would hang out all the time. We were like we were like Beavis and Butthead watching TV, MTV. We clown on things on TV. We were silly together, and we did a lot of stuff together. It was a good time. Growing up with him was good. I never had a I never had any siblings, so him hanging out with me and we hung out for like 2 or 3 years. We hung out, and he stayed in Austin for a while, but we hung out and. It was just fun. It was a lot of fun, man. He just showed me a lot of sports things, and I was very, very. He gave me a lot of knowledge of sports, which is I really appreciate him for that. So anyway, seeing those photos took it back to being a kid, and I told Jennifer, I said, when I was a kid, I never got. We never bought store bought cake. We never bought the store bought cake. I always got a cake, and it was I would always usually I'd come home from school, and it was usually there when I came from my school on my birthday, and there was always a the yellow cake, the box cake, 2 layered box cake with the chocolate frosting, and I always saw. It's always stuck. The image is always ingrained in my brain. Like when, you see the cake on the table, and you cut a slice out, and you see that triangle, that cut out triangle, and you always see the 2 layers in there, and I always see that image. I don't know what it is. It just stuck with me. And so I told Jennifer, I said, because Jennifer is fantastic, and she's a great cook. She's a fantastic cook, and she's a miracle worker in there. And she was like, what do you want me to go get you a cake from? I said, nah. I said, this year I think I want, just a box cake. I just want yellow box cake with the chocolate frosting. I said, I want to go back and take it to take it old school, man, and eat it and have just that old feel and see if it still tastes the same. And it did. She made it for me, and it tasted the same. It was just like it took me back as being a kid, having sneaking in extra, after everybody went to bed, going into the kitchen, sneaking in another slice. Cause I was a fat bastard, so I went back to the kitchen when everybody was asleep and snuck in a slice of cake, and then later I get my ass beat for it, but whatever, it was worth it. The fucking cake was worth getting the ass whipping, because I was we grew up back in the days when you got your ass whipped, and but it's fine, it's whatever. I turned out fine. I'm okay. Um, Tasted the same way as I thought it would, and it was good. Nice memories of the better memories of as a child. It was the good stuff. Remembering friends I grew up with, and again, Rudy, thank you again for the photos. I have them with me now, and it's cool to have something, a physical copy of a photo of myself as a kid. It's cool because Jennifer thought for the longest time I didn't exist. So now I got proof now. And then again, birthday, November 30th was my birthday. I had a good day. 48 now, 48, getting closing in on that big 50, which is I'm not worried about. It's just another number. It's how you thinking here. So I'm looking forward to 50. I'm really looking forward to 50. Spending time with spending that with the family again. Hopefully do something big. Maybe we'll go on a trip this time. Maybe we'll go do something special. But for the most part, I like staying home, eating cake, having my that's another thing I have on my birthday tradition now with my mom, Pam, Jennifer's mom, Pam, my mom, call her mom. She makes me these things. She makes me these enchiladas, and they're my absolute favorite thing. That's my favorite. She makes me like 2 pans of them enchiladas, and they're homemade. She makes them, and she told me the other day we were talking about this because again not to harp on elections or whatever, but she told me the other day because she was talking about money. She goes, these enchiladas I make you every year. She goes, usually I go buy everything I need, all the ingredients, whatever, all the accoutrement, and it would usually cost around 30 to 40 bucks to make it for us. And it's like 5 or 6 of us, 40 bucks. And then she goes, this year I went to go do it, and I made a little, not much more, but just a little more, and she goes, it ended up almost being close to $80 to $100, and I was like, holy shit, that's like almost double, it's just Jesus. And again, that's the thing, it's just like after the shit changed, prices went out high, man. I guess like it was something that she was just telling me. I just wanted you to know that shit went up. She wasn't she complaining. She was just telling me, just so you know, 'cause she knows I like fun facts. I like telling everybody here, how much, what I do, and she knows I like to tell people my what's going on over here on this side of the curtain. So I was just telling you guys, yeah, my. So she was just telling me, yeah, this shit costed like 30, $40, a couple years ago. Now it's all the shit went up. So just a fun fact. And so yeah, I had my enchiladas, and I destroyed a after a couple of days, I destroyed a pan of enchiladas, and I loved it. And it's one of my favorite things. Like I said, the tradition we started, and like I said, we had some cake, had a good time, opened some presents, got some cool presents. I've been wanting some. I had told Jennifer I've been wanting some new boots, and but yeah, not boots. I like cowboy boots, but I wanted just some boots for they were nice, comfortable boots. They were just look like work boots. I like Timberlands, but I didn't want Timberlands. I just wanted, so we got me. So she got me some new Ariats. So those were really nice boots that I got, and her and her parents got me a nice gift. And the coolest part, again, my son, growing up now, he's getting a little older, and his grandpa Tim, dad, he's like, you know what? I think Dylan's at the age. Let's get him to start getting him fiddling around the garage. So Dylan goes down there now. He's working now. He's working with his grandpa now, working on the cars and learning about stuff. Dylan's still green at it, a little green. It's okay, learning. But he starts with the basics. You clean the garage. You start with the basics, like anything else. You start from the bottom up. You clean the garage. You organize the tools. You clean the tools. Those nuts and bolts. You organize them, put them up where they go, put them in the right sizes and everything. And I think it's going to be good for him. I think it's going to be good for him to learn how to how it is to earn a honest living, if I can talk. And I think it's going to be great for him. I think working with the grandpa is going to be good for him. It's going to be Grandpa Tim there. He doesn't mess around. He doesn't take. He's old school, man. So he doesn't take no shit. He tells you what's what. Get it done. Handle it. Get your shit. There's no excuses. There's no excuses not to be on time. And I've always been like that. Being on time somewhere to get to somewhere. When you go to work, I'm always. I forget how the phrase goes. If you're on time, you're late. If you're 15 minutes early, you're on time. So I'm used to. I think that's how the phrase goes. The saying goes. But I'm always that way. I'm always when I go to work, I'm on time. I'm ahead of time before I'm supposed to be there because I like to get ready. I like to be prepared. And like I said, that's what we're teaching Dylan to be on time. Even though you just got to walk down to Grandpa's house, you got to be on time. Don't mess around. Don't be late. And like I said, uh, uh, Tim is old school, and he's really old school. And we don't we don't baby nobody. We tell you how it is. We get into it, get it done. We don't. We're gonna teach you how to get a thick skin. Make you how to get a thick skin because that's how life is. Like you need a thick skin for life. That's what we tell Dylan. And he's doing great. He's making his own money, which brings me to the whole point here, going off on. He got me a nice gift. He got me a hat. He got me a shirt. He knows what I told him. I said, if you ever want to get your dad something, give me a hat, some socks. You'll make me happy. So yeah, he got me the first. We always give him out allowance. So anytime he had his allowance as a little kid, he'd give Jennifer, a couple bucks and that he'd buy me something small, a pair of socks for him. But now this is his money that he actually earned, and he bought me a hat, a shirt, and it was a real special moment for me. A real special. So it was a good birthday, a good 48th birthday. It was good. Enjoyed my chocolate cake, my yellow cake with chocolate frosting. Got the Longhorn win. I got the Colorado win, and there was another win that I got, but I won't, talk about that. And so yeah, it's a good week, man. It's a damn good start to November. We're doing good, man. Now we're looking forward to Thanksgiving, Christmas time. Got a lot of stuff, a lot of projects for the kids that work there. I'm looking forward to hanging out with them for the holidays and doing some stuff with them. And the arts, we got a lot of art projects going on, and I'm excited, man. It's a good time at work. Like I said, those kids don't have no idea. They inspired me to get back into the art, man. They really kicked it back in for me. Like I said, I've always been into art. I always loved my art. I always loved doing extra projects on the side and things like that. Doing paintings for people and things like that. I always loved doing that stuff. But even more so now, I'm even more inspired now to show these kids what what art's all about, what you can do with it. If you don't necessarily have to go to college, you can if you want to. That's it for not for everybody. But if they're not, they can still be an artist and do their thing on the side and make money and be hustlers, but in a positive way. Hustlers in a positive way. And looking forward to 2025, like I said. So appreciate everybody keeping up with the 52 and falls. We're not going nowhere. 52 still here. Spoke to Vinny the other day. Oh, Vinny Vincenzo there. Talked to him the other day, and hopefully me and him will get together and do something in the future here. And like I said, our schedule's always missing, and he's a busy guy. I'm a busy guy now with the new gig, so I think we're gonna cross paths soon, and then we'll be able to get you a new 52 with me and old Vinny there. Miss doing it with him. He's always got his conspiracies and all that good stuff, and all his silliness, and I love Miss Vinny there. He's a good guy, and then so at some point we'll get together. And other than that, happy Thanksgiving, guys. Uh, Enjoy that turkey, enjoy the mashed potatoes, and stay tuned.